wave control needs improvement. But then again, we have to look at the victors of this game. Obviously, it will not be easy for Echo had it not been for Outplayed's positioning. 2-0-3, 63% kill participation, wonderful recovery up top when he lost so much health against Nomad on this Roger, but then eventually he found his opening and then stabilized that lane. But let's look at the highlights. Mean Dean making a lot of progress in the early stages. However, Zaida just looks for a proper angle. But then look at this. Hetz is able to do his job to make it difficult for Zaida to position himself around the turtle area, which I think it should be the way to go for TNC. But in the latter portions, Heads on the CC was not activated anymore, right? So this is just a 7-minute mark where they will get away with murder. I believe that there will be a kill onto Ryzen after this one, but TNC, they're still in control after this. Then the First Lord fight. You would think that Echo will win this, but because of Heads and as well as the Roger just outputting damage, look at how he utilized the Lycan Pounce to get from right to left and then keep himself up, with, dodging some of those. But then this is the turning point. JP just found an opening onto 3. He snagged that. What was the term you were in? 3-man pool? What's that? 3-man pool?
3-man pool.
3-man pool. But then, in the end, Echo had so many resources. 3 waves of big minions and not a lot of defense from the side of TNC.
Still can't get over the 3-man pool.
I didn't mean to do that. I just got so excited.
Yeah. Well, let's look at some of the important emblems here. I think the only difference, or the only non-standard emblem set should be from Nomad, who went for the Assassin emblem. But look at how tanky the Roger can be, even when he's rocking the Assassin emblem. Also true for Super Yoshi, who went for the tank emblem. Remember, yesterday we saw Ogwen actually utilize the support emblem on the Minotaur. But this time he went for the tank emblem. Still is not enough against the damage output of Echo. I would dare say that sometimes in MLBB games, if you pick the strongest heroes in the meta game, it looks very easy. Carry as well as Nolan, we know that they're the strongest heroes, like pound for pound, when it comes to their stats. And it looks very easy and very fluid to look for damage output from these players or heroes just because of how strong they are. And that is why Rich Guy, the carry, is Zaida now played. Yeah. And obviously, we can see that from TNC's perspective, it kind of looked so difficult for them to output the damage. But then if you look at their composition, now you'll know, despite them rocking this Minotaur, they don't...
Game number 2, bigger picture, who's our MVP?
Should be Sanford, but now it's Zaida. 10-0-4. Okay, never mind what I said earlier. Never mind my first sentence.
That's why.
10-0-4, 970 GPM. At 5 minutes and 20 seconds, he's got Heptaseas and Hunter Strike. What else can we say about Zaida? I think that he felt a lot of steam from game number 1 playing this Nolan, and then played the perfect Nolan game in game number 2. And let's look at it once again, taking that first turtle of the fight. And TNC was in a very bad spot here. Actually, when it comes to their turtle dance, it really didn't look good. And the fact that Ryzen was taken out early, that really meant so badly for TNC. TNC tried to go for the purple buff steal afterwards, but then it went into a disastrous situation. Nomad eventually gets a kill, but at what cost? He actually lost so much. And even Hatred picking up the Durance now for TNC because they need it. That's how much they really have to fix this composition. That's why we feel that this draft is not looking good for TNC, because they really have to solve so much. The triple kill coming out from Outplayed, and then eventually the snowball from Echo. At this point, there's not much that they can do. Look at that well-devised play coming out from Echo with Outplayed having the Purify, so there's not much that the TNC can do. And in the end, the Heads can only watch, as there's nothing that he can do against Echo's composition. This pickup on the glue really is a problem for many things. Like, there's no marksman that you can pick up in the latter portions of the draft to kind of fix the composition of TNC, and it will be the side of TNC to lose again, 0-2 against Echo. And now we're looking at important emblems. It's really not much that's different. Maybe the fact that Glue right now is played not as an actual tank, but still is very tanky with just the common emblem that you saw from Sanford. Picked it up with a common emblem so that he has got a lot of mana to go with him. And then Echo Also, back to the fact that this outplayed Zyda position 1 and position 2 combo is untouched by TNC. There's really not a lot of heroes that can be a problem for these heroes. Think about it, maybe Heads, as he tried to play his heart out with his Benedetta, but he had to deal with 2 heroes from Echo. There's not much reach for TNC to be able to get into the backlines and punish the Claude as well as Zyda, because TNC's front to back just didn't work. And unfortunately for TNC, the way that they decided this draft to go with the 3rd pick Benedetta, that kind of put them in that prison where they really have to look for a marksman that can solve the glue eventually, which they couldn't find. Even for us, like, you know, we're not put in a spot where we're pressured by the clock or pressured by the stage or by the audience. We can't even think of a solution to the last pick of